Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. I wanted to give you a quick breaking news update on the state of play in the Middle East on this Sunday afternoon. Now, clearly, I am not at home right now. I've been on the road for the past few days, but I am about to head home. Before I did, I wanted to give you this update. Now, a lot of people are asking what comes next, obviously, with Iran, Hezbollah, that Iranian axis pitted against Israel, vowing threats of revenge after the deaths over the past week of top Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr in Beirut, and of course, Ismail Haniyeh, the top political leader in Hamas, taken out in Tehran right under the noses of the Iranian regime. Now Iran and its axis, its ring of fire, are breathing threats of revenge. So where do we stand? And by the way, I'm coming to you just straight from my phone right now, just kind of down and dirty. But you're not here for the bells and whistles. You're here for the content. That's why we encourage you to subscribe to the Watchman News channel right here on YouTube and click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. Hey, folks, we're coming to you most days, Monday through Friday, and as you can see, sometimes on the weekend. So be sure to click the notification bell so you get those updates. Okay, here's where we're at. On Sunday, August 4th, according to various reports, U.S. and Israeli intelligence believe that an Iranian axis attack against Israel could come as soon as Monday, August 5th. Now, no guarantees here, and we pray this attack never comes, and if it does come, that it's completely thwarted, just as it was on April 13th, when the Iranian regime launched some 350 projectiles from Iranian soil, and 99.9% of them were intercepted before they even reached Israeli soil. So it seems clear that Iran is going to do something, but we pray for an absolute failure, which is what happened on April 13th. But folks, can we say it was a total failure on April 13th? And I say that for this reason. Iran would not be emboldened to try it again, which it looks like they most certainly are about to do, if they hadn't gotten away with what they did on April 13th. What do I mean by that? The United States restrained Israel at every turn in its response. And essentially, Joe Biden said to Israel, do not act offensively, only play defense, and if you go on the offense, we're not going to support you. And I think he's saying the same thing this time. Any offensive actions against Iran, preemptive strikes against Iran and Hezbollah, we will not support, but we will work to defend against the Iranian attack. And Joe Biden said last time, April 13th, to Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, you got the win, take the win. Don't even respond to Iran. Well, Israel did respond to Iran. They struck a site in Natanz, right near Iran's nuclear facilities in that city, but it was not the kind of massive response that would deter the Iranian regime from trying this again. And now Iran is saying, well, we got away with it the first time. We fired 350 projectiles on April 13th. Israel responded, but nothing that really made much of an impact. And we know, this is Iran, they know that the Biden administration is restraining Israel at every turn. So why not try it again? And that's what they're going to do. According to reports, there's going to be an attack in a much larger magnitude than we saw on April 13th. Drones, rockets, missiles coming from Iran proper, from Iranian soil. And remember, April 13th was the first time ever we saw such an attack from Iran. Look, the Iranian regime usually chooses and prefers to act through proxies. Hezbollah, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the Houthis in Yemen, those various Shia militias in Iraq and Syria. And then Iran says, we didn't do it. Plausible deniability. I call it implausible deniability, because the Iranian regime is the head of the snake, folks, for all the terror emanating from that region and really around the world. But here's where we are right now. Some have said tomorrow an Iranian-led attack will come as early as tomorrow, again, Monday, August 5th. Some are saying as well that maybe next Monday, August 12th, would be a day for the Iranian regime to do this, because that day would have great symbolism. Folks, Monday, August 12th, 2024 marks, and apologies, I'm just balancing this phone, but bear with me. Monday, August 12th marks the 9th of Av, AV, the 9th of Av. Now, what is that? The 9th of Av is the day, and it's hard to believe that this happened on the same day, a few hundred years apart, but it did, that both Jewish temples in Jerusalem were destroyed. The first temple in Jerusalem, Solomon's temple, and then the second temple, known as Herod's temple, he rebuilt it, and I should say renovated it. That's where Jesus taught, chased out the money changers. Those two temples were destroyed first by the Babylonians and later by the Romans on the same exact day, a few hundred years apart. That's astounding. And that's not a coincidence, I don't think, in the spiritual. But nonetheless, it has great significance for the Jewish people. It was a day of great tragedy, obviously. Both temples destroyed and marking the dispersion of the Jewish people from their ancient and ancestral homeland both times. The Babylonian exile, then the Romans scattered the Jewish people to the ends of the earth. So there's some thinking that the Iranian regime and its partners may try to strike around that day, which is such a day of tragedy again for the Jewish people and a day of mourning and a day of defeat for the Jewish people historically. We shall see. I think there'll be more of an element of surprise this time, folks, than we had last time. If you remember last time, April 13th, this was telegraphed for days, and we knew it was coming, and everyone knew it was coming. And this time, you know it's coming, but perhaps the Iranian regime is going to have a bit more of an element of surprise. And last time, when those rockets and drones began flying, remember, they took hours to reach Israel, some of those drones. So this thing was telegraphed last time. This time, I'm not so sure that's going to be the case. And the state that we're in right now, I would compare in some ways to the Six-Day War in 1967, when in the weeks in the run-up to that war in early June 67, we had the whole world knew it was coming. Egypt was massing on Israel's border, Syria, everyone, will Jordan join the fray? Everyone knew it was coming, and an invasion was about to be mounted against Israel. Here's why I bring this up. Israel went on the offensive. Israel didn't wait for the attack to come to them. Israel struck preemptively against Egypt, destroyed the Egyptian Air Force in the morning while they were having coffee, and while the Egyptian Air Force was still on the ground, it never even got in the air, and the war was effectively over then. It was a miraculous victory. I don't use that word lightly. The Six-Day War was a miraculous victory. And so was April 13th to see 99.9% of those incoming Iranian projectiles intercepted. These are miracles of God. These are not coincidences. It's so improbable what happened in both instances that you have to see God's hand. But Six-Day War, instead of waiting, Israel struck preemptively. Will Israel do it this time? For the past 4 days now, we've heard the Iranian attack is coming. The Iranian attack is coming. Hezbollah, the entire Iranian axis, the Houthis in Yemen, the entire Ring of Fire are vowing to get in the act. Now, Gaza, that ring of the Ring of Fire, has basically been erased in that Hamas is in its death throes, as is Islamic Jihad, the other Iranian proxy there in Gaza. The IDF has smashed them. And in the wake of Ismail Haniyeh's death, the Hamas leader, in previous years, before October 7th, Hamas would have fired thousands of rockets into Israel in a short span of time. But now Hamas fired a trickle, maybe 20 rockets over the past few days. That's it. Hamas doesn't have the capability anymore. So Iran has effectively lost that ring on the Ring of Fire. There'll still be a trickle of rockets coming out, but nothing, nothing anywhere near what we've seen in the past. And Hamas, as a fighting force, is absolutely crippled, and Iran can't count on Hamas anymore. But it can count on Hezbollah, the Houthis in Yemen, those Shia militias in Iraq and Syria, perhaps even the Assad regime in Syria. I'm thinking prophecy here. Look, you think of Isaiah 17 and the demise of Damascus, and you think maybe something big happens in Syria eventually and Assad overplays his hand. But the Bible's pretty clear. It's in Isaiah 17 that Damascus, one of the oldest inhabited cities in the world, will cease to be a city. So are we seeing the groundwork laying? What do you think, folks? Leave some comments here. What do you think? Are these prophetic birth pangs we're seeing right now? I believe they are. And I believe October 7th really opened the prophetic floodgates and set the groundwork for some major wars that are coming in the Middle East that will profoundly impact all of us, no matter where we live in the world. Now, will Israel strike preemptively? I think the restraining hand of Joe Biden, once again, threatening Israel, hey, we'll help you, we'll form a defensive coalition. And they had that on April 13th, remember. I talked about those interceptions. It was the U.S., it was Saudi Arabia, Britain, Jordan, all coming together to intercept those incoming Iranian drones and missiles and rockets. They're putting that coalition together again. You have U.S. military officials in Israel right now putting together that defense plan. But shouldn't the philosophy be to go on the offense? And why let these projectiles come in? Why not destroy the launchers on the ground? I don't know. A crazy question. But the 6-day war is your template. It seems unwise to sit around and wait. And it also sends a message of weakness to the Iranian axis that we're not going to strike back. We're going to deflect your attack, but then we're not going to do anything after that. That's going to embolden them to try it again in a larger magnitude. And that's what they're going to do this time after the lessons that Iran took from April 13th. No timetable here, folks. We don't know when it's going to happen. And I hope the Iranian regime climbs down, but I don't think that's going to happen. I would think that it employs its entire ring of fire this time. Some have said it can't come in stages. It may be all in one shot. They all fire at once. Who knows? But I do know this. Number one, that God Almighty is in control. And I know, number two, the IDF is well trained and Israel's leaders know what's coming and they know how to prepare for it. Number three, I know that the United States, sadly and tragically, and I'm a proud American, will attempt to restrain Israel at every turn. But I hope Israel does what Israel needs to do to defend its citizens. Israel's a sovereign nation that knows what needs to be done better than anyone. Israelis know how to defend Israelis, and Israel's leaders do. And prophetically, look, I think you're seeing the groundwork laying. There's been persistent reports on social media, at least. I haven't been able to verify them anyplace, but there's been some reports trickling out on X that there are Russian cargo planes landing in Iran, delivering supplies. I wouldn't doubt it, given the close relationship between Russia and Iran, but I just don't know. I can't verify that right now, but I'm keeping a close eye on that for you guys. And look, Ezekiel 38, 39, these are absolutely the groundwork being laid for that. Isaiah 17, this great northern war that's coming. And I don't know if this is it. It may be similar to April 13th, where there's a Iranian fire, it's deflected, then things lay low for a while. I just don't know, but I do know this. We're going to continue to bring you updates here on the channel. And number two, pray. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Keep it all in prayer. Don't despond and don't be discouraged. God's in control. We're in Bible times, prophetic times. Jesus never said it would be easy, but you're born into these times for a reason, for such a time as this. So stay encouraged, be in prayer. God is still on the throne. Until tomorrow, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.